All right. Hey, y'all. So, Dave just got done, Independent Outsider just got done with his live stream, and I hope I'm not keeping him up, but this is something that I've been meaning to talk about for a while. Um, I don't know. I touched on the Joe Manchin letter um, on After Hours, but I kind of wanted to go a little bit more in depth with it, and there's some other stuff that's been happening that I wanted to talk about. So I'm just going to do this live stream real quick. It's only 5 o'clock in the morning here. I mean, I don't need to sleep. Whatever. So, hold on one second. I want to make sure I got all my stuff set up. Let's see. It's only 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, echo. We're going to need an echo. All right. Let's see. Do I share it? I don't know. I guess it's already out there. If it, whenever I go live, I guess it posts or whatever. Anyway. So I'm going to read the letter from Joe Manchin. Now, if you haven't watched my live streams that I used to do in the mornings, there was one morning I got so riled up. I actually called Joe Manchin's office because he voted for this deal to sell weapons to Saudi Arabia, and then Saudi Arabia turns around and bombs civilians in Yemen. So, I mean, and this was a story that, I mean, these are men, women, children, just innocent civilians that were, I mean, just murdered. They were murdered. And these aren't people with bombs. These aren't people with airplanes and drones. These are very poor, disenfranchised people, and they're killing them. So I called up Joe Manchin and I asked him, does he feel guilty? Does he feel like he has blood on his hands from this? Because it was like him and 3 other Democrats that voted for this. And, these people need to be reminded that what they do causes real consequences. And it's not for them. I mean, they don't ever have to suffer the consequences of their actions. We're the ones that suffer for it, the average people. So when he does stuff, he needs, these politicians need to be reminded that they're fucking shit up. And that's exactly what he's done with this, vote to sell, Saudi Arabia, these weapons. So anyway, having said that, I'll read you the letter from his office, which, damn well his interns wrote. He didn't write this. I mean, even on the back of it, it shows, he didn't even sign it. Like, you see that? That's a damn stamp. I mean, if you're going to fake that you sent me a letter, at least for real sign it, Anyway. So it says, Dear Miss King, thank you for contacting me regarding the recently approved weapons sale to Saudi Arabia. I appreciate the time you took to share your input with me. As you may know, Saudi Arabia has been a key ally in the United States fight against terrorism. The purchase in question replenishes the Royal Saudi Land Forces armored fighting vehicles, which are critical to the Saudis' interoperability. And I guarantee you, Joe Manchin does not know what that fucking word means. I just guarantee you. That is some educated freaking grammar right there, or vocabulary. I mean, interoperability. That is so above Joe Manchin's pay grade. Anyway, which are critical to the Saudis' interoperability with U.S. forces in the Middle East. Over the past year, Saudi Arabia has led a 34-nation military alliance against militants, namely ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Those groups that we created with our bombings and stuff. Those groups. We're fighting those. They're fighting those. So I have a long belief that countries in the Middle East should take the lead in resolving the region's problems. And I applaud Saudi Arabia's lead in that alliance. Now, before we get to the dead civilians, I just want to tell you how fucking awesome Saudi Arabia is. That's where we're at. Joe Manchin, I'm like, hey, your vote killed innocent civilians in Yemen. Oh, yeah, but before we get to that, let me just tell you how great Saudi Arabia is, man, because terrorists, right? Terrorists, 9/11. Be scared. Be scared of the brown people. You know what? Terrorism is a scary thing, whether it's from Muslims or Americans. I mean, whenever anybody kills massive amounts of people, it is a scary thing, especially when it's a civilian, because it's like civilians need to stick together. I mean, the government's already killing us left and right. We don't need civilians attacking us. You know what I mean? But it's like you say that word, that Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, trigger word, and you say ISIS, and you have to be okay with whatever they do because they're fighting terrorists. It's like, no, I'm okay with you fighting terrorists. I'm not okay with you bombing poor people in Yemen. That's my issue. Okay, that's my issue. Wow. Anyway, let me finish this letter. I'll try to get through it without ranting too much. However, I also share your concerns about allegations, as if we don't have a fucking body count. Okay. Allegations concerning human rights violations, and that Saudi Arabia has been complicit in aiding and abetting terrorist groups in the past. I mean, they might have helped a few terrorists, but they're also fighting a few terrorists, so what can we do? What can we do? As your senator, I will continue to be mindful of this as we consider our strategy and role in the Middle East. I guarantee you, he ain't going to consider this. It's all about the money, man. Who is greasing his palms? And it ain't me, so he doesn't give a shit about what I have to say. All right, back to this. Again, thank you for taking the time to add your voice to this important discussion. If I may be of further assistance to you, please do not hesitate to contact my office. With warmest regards, Joe Manchin. So let me translate that for you into real people talk. Instead of thank you for taking the time to add your voice to this important discussion, it's please shut the fuck up. Instead of if I may be of further assistance to you, please do not hesitate to contact my office. What he's really saying is, don't fucking call me again. I don't want to talk about this stuff. I don't want to hear about this stuff. Please don't ever bother me with your freaking opinions ever again. Because they don't want to be confronted with this. I mean, as proof, I get a fake-ass letter from Joe Manchin with a fake-ass signature. I mean, come on. Seriously, dude, step up your game. I'm not some dumb-ass constituent. I know what I'm talking about. It's like, if I'm aware enough to call your office and ask some questions about this stuff, don't give me some BS letter. You can't BS me, man. I have the internet. I can go and look up all the things that you're saying right now and tell you that you're full of shit. Not once did he ever mention the dead Yemenis, men, women, and children. I mean, at one point did he say, you know what? I really feel awful that, Saudi Arabia is really, that they're killing these people. But, I mean, he never admitted that they're killing civilians. And this isn't like just, a problem with Yemen. I mean, this is a problem everywhere. We're killing people, civilians everywhere. I don't even want to see dead soldiers. You know what I mean? Like, I know that they signed up for it, but it's like, can we just stop killing each other? Jesus Christ. I mean, fighting does nothing. You know what? You got to use your words. At the end of all the bloodshed, at the end of it, there always comes a truce. There always comes a time where you have to talk this stuff out and you have to figure out, how do we move forward? You have to use your words, Joe. You can't just bomb shit and expect things to work out, Anyway, let me see if there's anybody in chat. I haven't even checked. Oh, Independent, you're here. Come on. You're supposed to sleep. Okay. Independent Outsider said, I'll be sleeping, just want to pump up your viewer count. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Let's see, who we got in here? We got Independent Outsider, Dax Jacobson, Nash, Dark Electrohead, Luca Clemente. Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you joined me here. That's awesome. I like the company. I got good people that come and check me out, so I'm biased. All right, so that was it for the Joe Manchin letter, but I also have another. Can y'all hear my computer? It sounds like it's about ready to take flight, man. It does not sound good. I hope it's not too loud in the chat. All right, so there's another article that I found And this was on WCHS. It's our local news station. Let me go ahead. Oh, how do I do this stuff? I don't know how to do this stuff. Let me see how to do this. Share screen. There it is. Okay. So here we are on this. It's the Waist Watch. Now, you see this couch here. This raggedy ass couch. It's just a blue damn couch, okay? You can get this anywhere. I'm sure you could probably get this at, like, I don't know, Value City Furniture or something for like $1,000. But no, these dumbasses paid $32,000 for this couch. This couch right here. This couch. I mean, it better be made out of some damn gold or something. Stuff with, like, I don't know, baby seal skin exterior or something. I don't even know. But $32,000, I can't even imagine. I never even paid that much for a car, okay? And they paid this much for a couch. Ugh. Anyway. So it says the West Virginia Supreme Court is a secretive place. In fact, this is the first time anyone here can remember that TV cameras were allowed into the inner sanctum, the private offices of the 5 justices. Now, since 2009, there has been a lot of renovation work going on here. The original estimate for the upgrades was about $900,000. Now, 5 judges, $900,000. So I am not a mathematician. So I'm going to, I'm actually going to look this up. I'm going to do the math here. Divided by 5, because I'm a dumbass. I got to use a calculator. So each judge had approximately $180,000 to renovate their chambers. Now, that's more than enough to buy a house around here. Hell, my first house was two stories with a full basement, and I only paid $60,000 for it. And yet, each judge was allotted $180,000 based on the estimate, and they couldn't stay within that. It says that has since ballooned to more than $3.7 million. Are you kidding me? $3.7 million to renovate 5 rooms? 5 rooms. 5 rooms. I'm telling you, you give me $100, I would have went down to that flea market. I could have gotten you a couch, chairs, all the works, $100. That's it. Yet, $180,000 is just, they could not stay within a budget of $180,000. It blows my mind. And we talk about the military-industrial complex. What is this shit? I mean, seriously, you can't renovate 1 room within $180,000. Okay. So anyway, let's see. We start with Chief Justice Alan Lowry's chambers. He took office in 2013, with work on his office beginning soon thereafter. The total cost for the work was just over $363,000, but that included some major expenditures for office furniture. Office furniture. You telling me? I'm sorry. I've worked in offices before, and I can tell you that they didn't spend no damn $363,000 on my outfit. So, you know, I didn't get a fancy chair or a fancy computer desk or nothing like that. These, man, they just don't know how to live within their own means, which is what one of our Republican friends, you know, in office here likes to say, we got to live within our means. Well, you can't live within 300 and, you know, 100 and some $1,000. Okay. So, namely a sectional sofa with a price tag of nearly $32,000, complete with $1,700 throw pillows. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna stop screen sharing this for a second. I just need y'all to look at my face when I say this. $1,700 for some pillows. For some pillows. I mean, pillows. Pillows. Not a couch for everybody to sit on. Okay, like, okay, I get it. You need a couch because you have all these people over and you need to talk. Please explain to me why you need to spend almost $2,000 on some damn pillows. What, to liven up the room? You couldn't do that within $20 at Target? Come on. This is insane. All right, so let's go back to this. Oh God, what have I done? I've created a vortex.